All right.
Hello,
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Valuation Nation. I think that's what we settled on the name. Steve was on the phone with his side chicks, which is why we were late just now.
What are you talking about? I was on the phone with my coworkers.
There was some interesting stuff that we were listening to.
Yeah, I should have muted it.
Steve, I have a question for you before we get into the podcast today. Okay?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Are you a fan of cookies?
You're really going there? Really? Or what is better, Chips Ahoy or an Oreo?
All right, we're not going into the whole thing. Anyway,
no, you can go there. That's fine. That's fine. Yes, I love cookies.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to know the question.
Yes, I love cookies.
Okay, great. The joke will come back again eventually. Whenever
I'm sure you're going to try to figure out a way to bring it back to that at some point in the next hour.
All right, we're talking about Celsius today, okay, which is not a cookie, but it is an energy drink. On this podcast, Steve and I basically break down stocks every week. We pick one stock a week, and we try to do an integrated deep dive that's comprehensive to give an analysis on if it's a good buy. We don't really know anything about Celsius, so this is going to be one of those episodes where we're literally doing the due diligence in real time and trying to come to the conclusion. Before we get into it, Steve, any raw thoughts on Celsius in general?
It's interesting. It is getting more popular. I get worried about the energy drink space because I'm not sure if it is a younger person thing, because I feel like I see people, and when I say younger, I'd say like 26 and below drinking it. And I would say I see middle-aged to older adults drinking coffee. I don't know that I see many 40-year-olds or 50-year-olds drinking Red Bull or Monster or Celsius.
Right.
So I don't know enough about that, but I do. And the other thing that gets me sometimes is I've never heard anybody say, let's go out and get Celsius, but all the time I hear, let's go out and get coffee.
Or even when you're at a bar, let's go get a Red Bull or something, right? When you're
I never hear that unless you're talking about Red Bull and vodka. I don't hear it. So I'm not saying it's not big. It's definitely big. It's just I need to do more work on it. It's certainly interesting because look, those brands generate a ton of revenue. So it's interesting.
Have you invested in a consumer-facing food brand before, and any experience with those brands at all?
The Coca-Cola company.
Okay, so that's been your main.
Oh, did I ever tell you what I got my wife? You'll love this. So I got her addicted to Coca-Cola. Okay. She drinks Coca-Cola all the time.
Okay.
I went on this website. I think it's called giftashare.com, something like that. Okay. You can buy actual physical shares of company stock.
Ah, yeah.
So I bought her a share of it and had it framed and then gave it to my nephew to give her.
Okay, but
it's pretty cool. Like she has a legit share of Coca-Cola sitting in a frame, and like the 44-cent dividend every quarter comes in a check. It's hilarious.
Does she drink Diet Coke or just regular Coke?
No, regular Coke. I have a glass bottle.
What about you? Do you drink Diet Coke or regular Coke?
No, listen. Coca-Cola, there's no replacement for it. And sometimes I'll do cherry Coke, but Coca-Cola is just.
How often do you drink Coke? Like how many times?
I tried to. I was drinking a lot. I don't drinking anymore. I had Coke over the holiday, but other than that, I just drink water and coffee now. But I love Coca-Cola.
Okay, so before we get into it, the idea of a brand kind of being that universal, like a Coca-Cola, that is something that's an attractive investment for you, right? It's just a question of finding that.
Yeah, but I don't think any energy drink could become a Coca-Cola. I mean, when you think about even Pepsi, okay, those are two brands that transcend everything. You can find them at the most remote places of the world. I mean, I don't remember how many countries. It's something like 219 countries that Coca-Cola is sold in. Their distribution chains are the most expansive in the world. It's unbelievable. I think it's more because it's it's not that it's easy to make, it's easy to produce once you come up with the formula, and it's a good margin business and it's quick.
Right.
So people can just grab them at a gas station. So all these energy drinks, it's really interesting. And from what I've looked at, Celsius is more in the fitness space, and fitness has completely gone haywire. I mean, the amount of fitness influencers on YouTube and stuff is crazy. So Celsius is interesting, but my question always becomes, what's the competition? Because it seems like everybody's coming out with some type of drink,
Right.
or some type of powder. Like if Celsius is supposed to be a pre-workout, there's so many pre-workouts out there. So I don't know.
All right. So let's get into Celsius then. So let's say you and me were just, two buddies at an investment firm, and our boss told us, hey, we're two junior analysts. The boss is like, hey, I'm thinking of Celsius. Go do some research. We got an hour. How would you start your research?
You want to open up a spreadsheet and I'll tell you what to write down?
Okay. I'll do that.
Okay. So right now I'd say write down 13.85 billion market cap.
Okay. Let me pull this up. I want to do this with everybody. Celsius. I can probably send this to everybody. I'll put this in the show notes afterwards. Okay. Cool. 13.5.
And we'll clean it up after you send it around. Before you send it around, we'll clean it up. No, don't do it like that. Take the BMC out, put that in the next tab. Just do.
Okay, gotcha.
Actually, write out 13.85 billion, or just 13.85. Just leave that.
Okay.
All right. So, in the trailing 12 months, they have 545.9 million in gross profit.
Okay.
Yeah, no, don't do the M and T.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'll give it 30.
Yeah. And you're actually going to have to put all the zeros in for all this, because we're going to divide and do margins and everything.
Okay.
Because this isn't going to work.
So 549 million.
Yeah, 545, 900,000 afterwards. Okay, and then fill out all the zeros behind that 5 to make that 13.5 billion.
13. You said 85, 850, 000, 000.
Okay. The net income is 155,500,000.
Okay, 155,500,000. It is all for what? Last quarter? Or no, this is all T.
No, this is the trailing 12. And then cash from operations is 73,300,000. So in column C2, on the other side of gross profit, do equals A2 divided by A1. All right, and then click on the C up top and just make that whole column percentage. Oh, actually, click on the C. So now just go to the percentage. Okay. Do the same thing for net income and cash from operations. So net income A3 divided by A1. And same thing for that. D1, yeah. So not a high margin business by any means. Okay, so let's look at this on the last quarter. So let's do the same thing underneath, and let's change the numbers. So the revenue last quarter was 384,800,000.
Okay.
And the gross profit was 194,100,000.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
Matt says, I run a Speedway gas station in Indianapolis, and Celsius does not sell. Monster sells more than Red Bull and Gatorade.
All right, something just changed, because the revenue, I'm telling you, I know how to read. Change the revenue number on We're doing, I'm sorry, that's why. Get rid of market cap, put revenue there. I was looking at two different things. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, no problem.
For the revenue number, it's 1,148,000. 148,000.
Basically that.
Put a 5 after the 8. Change that 0 to a 5 after the 8.
Now the numbers look a little better.
Now the numbers look much better. So gross profit.
Cedric says, "Why is he counting the profit against the market cap?"
No. So gross profit looks good. Net income looks good. Cash from operations. Okay. I mean,
bare bones. We're not even diving super deep into their growth. We'll share Seeking Alpha numbers in a second, but if you look at just these 4 metrics,
I like the margins because it's a business that if you scale, you're generating a bottom line profit of over 13%. So every dollar you add of revenue, you're generating 13-cent profit.
right?
The cash from operation yield is a little low for my liking, especially when you add in CapEx. Their free cash flow is only 50 million or so, which is low compared to their net income. I'd like the numbers to be reversed, but I'm not really sure what they're depreciating or whatnot.
Okay. So
let's bring up the balance sheet.
Yeah. So yeah, you can
see what they're fucking into.
Yeah, share that and let's get into the numbers. Hopefully this is helpful for people that want to learn how to, including myself, obviously read a balance sheet, understand what numbers to look at and why they are important. So Steve, when you go to the numbers, if you could explain like why you're clicking on them as well, that would be good.
Yeah, can you see that?
Yep, that's good.
All right, so they got 760 million in total cash. Receivables, I don't necessarily care that much about. Total assets, 1.21 billion. Not a lot of goodwill. I like that a lot.
Why?
Because typically when companies have a lot of goodwill there, they are writing down acquisitions or they have acquisitions on the book that they don't feel will materialize the way that they thought they would. So not having a lot of goodwill is always a check. It's always a check. Not a lot of current liabilities. No debt.
They have no debt at all?
No, there's no debt maturing right now from in the last year. No short-term borrowings maturing, no portion of their long-term debt. So this would be anything in the next year. Long-term debt, no debt, long-term debt. So that would be why. So this is a business that has grown with no debt. Before we even get to shares outstanding, I would think that they are diluting shareholders to fund growth. Let's see if I'm right. They are diluting shareholders to fund growth, which I'm fine with. So if you ask me, and this is what Tesla did, I'm pro what Tesla did. You think about it, would you rather take on debt, or if you have a loyal share base that's going to continue to buy shares, you can just do an equity raise and issue more shares and people are going to buy them. I mean, that is utilizing your brand's power to expand without taking on any debt. I mean, that was the smart move for them to do.
Right.
The balance sheet looks very good. Obviously, there's a valuation question, but from just a straight balance sheet, it looks very good.
Why does it look good? Is because of the lack of debt and the cash on hand? Is that why?
Yeah, I mean, there's no red flags on here. You have an unlevered business. You have $750 million in cash on hand. I mean, you have good assets. You don't have many liabilities. I mean, 500 million in liabilities is next to nothing. Most of your liabilities is coming from accrued expenses, deferred charges. You don't really have, where is it? Where's capital leases? They don't even have much in capital leases. I mean, that's really good. So they have preferred stock. So that means that they have dividend payments that they're making on the preferred equity. Most likely, we'd have to look into that. But overall, the balance sheet's good. I mean, you got total equity of just over $1 billion because they really don't have many liabilities. It's an unlevered company. Now let's see what they're paying their executives. Is this where that's going?
Okay.
Stock-based compensation, not horrible.
What is it?
Not horrible. But yeah, they're barely issuing.
Oh,
They're not
wow.
really issuing a lot.
22 million is nothing, dude.
Yeah, that's
In stock-based comp, 20.
Yeah,
I mean, I
that's
know they're
weird.
not a tech company; they don't need massive amounts, but
But
still.
still. So that tells me that the senior level management isn't greedy. The board's not out of control with issuing stock as compensation. At least from this, we'd have to go through the 10K. Look, from a balance sheet and from a cash flow statement, I like it. It's very clean. My question is on the valuation because you're paying right now the market cap. We paying like 10 times sales. That's expensive. And I hate that metric. I would rather look at the margins and then like think about it like this. If you were going to buy this company, okay, if you're Pepsi and Pepsi invested in them, but if you're Pepsi and you're going to pay fair market value for them at call it 14 billion, how long is it going to take you to make that 14 billion back? Because generating 14 billion in revenue isn't making the money back. You need to make 14 billion in profits back. So, and that's where I think I would disagree with a lot of people because a lot of people look at the revenue and say, "Oh, it's a growing business," blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, if a company was going to acquire them, they would be paying obviously what it's worth and probably a premium on the market cap. And at some point, they're going to need to make that back. So think about this: divide the net income by this. See how many years it would take for them to pay it back. Net income's 155 million. I mean, that's going to be a long freaking time for them to pay that back.
Okay.
10 years would be $1.5 billion.
Right.
So at some point it becomes you're buying this company because you think that there's massive growth on hand.
And so you're saying that the metric we just talked about, you're saying that's expensive because if the growth isn't there, it would take too long to pay back what they have to pay.
Yeah, I mean, you're buying shares in a public company. You are in fact an owner of the company. Even though you're not buying every share of the company, you're an owner of the company. And once again, Mr. Market sometimes does not care about that. I'm looking at it more as a perspective of if I'm buying the company, and that's why I like some of the things I like Bristol Myers, because those numbers just don't make any sense. Like,
okay, so let's talk about growth then. So the market's buying them at $50 a share because the market believes there's growth, correct? So what is the growth looking like to justify why the market thinks that?
Yeah, the market thinks there's a ton of growth on hand. The market thinks that they're going to generate 77 cents a share this year when the fourth quarter is revealed. And that's going to go to $2.03 at the end of 2026. I mean, that's a lot of growth. I don't know if it's warranted, though. I don't know.
Why?
Because you're paying such a high valuation today for all, like every investment. Like, what are you paying for? You're paying for profitability and you're paying for all future cash flow. Like when you buy shares in a company, you're paying the current value for every single dollar of their future cash flow. That's what you're paying for because you want companies to generate a profit, not just generate revenue.
And so you think that growth is not if that growth's not there, then you're paying just way too much for that future cash flow.
I don't think that the valuation makes much sense from a profitability standpoint today, but I think the question that's just the numbers. I'd have to really look at the relationship with Pepsi and what I haven't done any due diligence on it. I'd love to look at a presentation from them to see what the product lines look like, because we can probably get a good idea of where they're at, because Pepsi, I think, made a $500 million investment in them.
Yeah.
They're not making that type of investment unless Celsius is going to utilize Pepsi's distribution chain and unless they're going to grow their products through Pepsi, which could completely change all the numbers. Like, that's the wild card that Celsius has going for them. Pepsi and Coca-Cola have the two best distribution chains. Like, you can find their products anywhere in the world. So if you start telling me that Celsius is going to have international growth, they're going to utilize Pepsi's distribution chain, I could be persuaded to look past certain factors. But without knowing that, I think the income statement looks very expensive.
Mario says they have 8% market share in North America versus 67% for Monster and Red Bull. Does that mean they have an opportunity, or is that a little bit scary?
They're a younger company. I mean, it certainly means they have an opportunity. But once again, I don't know enough about the space. Are Monster and Red Bull customers going to shift? I don't know. Like, I don't know enough about this. And also, what's the other use case? Like I was saying before, if this is fitness, there's a ton of pre-workouts out there. I don't see coffee drinkers drinking Celsius.
You know what's interesting? There's a couple. Cedric says if they 10x one more time, they would be worth more than their whole market, which is really interesting. I mean, they've more than 10x since the lifetime of them being a company. Over the past 5 years, they've 50x'd. Okay, so they've done very well since 2018 or whatever, when they went public. Their market cap's 13 billion. Monster's market cap is only 60 billion.
Yeah, let's do Monster's numbers real quick next to theirs.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Because if Monster is a 60 billion in Celsius, maybe there's a 5x left, but you're paying a lot for the potential of that 5x in order for that to happen.
Monster beverage. So Monster, bring up that spreadsheet again.
Okay. Ricardo says I have a coffee in the AM and a Celsius in the PM.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right. So do it on start D1.
I'll just do a new sheet. Oh wait, no, you're saying okay, got it.
Go up to D so we can look at them both. All right. 6,922,900,000.
Wait, 6 billion? Oh yeah. Okay, got it. Okay.
The gross profit is 3,640,100,000.
Okay.
Net income, hold on. Net income is 1,565,700,000.
Okay.
Cash from operations is 1,581,900,000.
Okay, so let's look at some numbers now.
Do the margins.
So we have this divided by this. Okay, equals same. So their net income margin is 43% compared to 13% for Celsius.
E4 is wrong. E4, one down.
Why?
You're dividing it by net income divided by revenue.
Oh.
And check to make sure the other ones, just double click in the other ones. Yeah, that's wrong. Also.
Sorry. Yep.
Let's check them A3 and A4 real quick. I'm sorry, C3, C4.
Those are good.
Okay, those are right. Okay. Yeah, so the margins are way better with Monster.
It's a double.
So let's look at, so let's do this in, so D10, go to cell D10 and write 61 billion, 290 million, rest zeros. All right. Divide out
13.8 billion.
D10 divided by D3. And change that to just number.
What do you mean to number?
Just change it to number, not percentage.
Oh, not percentage. Okay. Let me do this first. Let me do it here. D10. We got D10 divided by. What is that sound in the back, Steve? What do you?
Steam heat.
I'm just like, what
So
is
equals D10 divided by D4.
No, just in general.
Yeah, net income's fine. So you're paying 39 times their net income. So now let's go to A10.
Okay.
All right. Type 13 billion 850 million and divide A10 by A3.
89.
So
Wow.
89 times their profitability.
You're being-
So if you were to pay just the current market value for every share, it would take you 89 years to make back your money from Celsius, and it would take you 39 years to make back your money from Monster.
Unless Celsius massively grows.
Unless it grows. But that's the thing. That's only current numbers. That's not taking in growth factors. All I'm saying is on the current numbers, Celsius's margins are good, but they're not great. Monster's margins are significantly better. I don't know if Monster's owned or partially owned by another company that helps with the distribution. I have no idea.
Huh.
But they look overvalued to me. Like if I was going to buy one of these right now, I'd probably invest in Monster before Celsius, but I'd have to look into so many more things. Like with Monster, let's look at what the future earnings
That's
are.
the thing, dude. Everyone that I feel like Celsius has become a little bit of a hype stock, and people are just like, "Oh, it's the next Peter Lynch like growth and I'm just like,
look at this.
it feels kind of expensive, dude.
This is impressive. Look at this. Look at that growth.
That's Monster.
Yeah.
They're going 40%.
So this year they would have grown at 40% year over year, but they still got double-digit earnings growth every freaking year going through 2030.
Wow.
So the analysts are projecting that type of growth. Where is how much business is Celsius going to take away from these companies? I don't know.
Well, so then this goes into the moat of Celsius. So let's transition to that a little bit because, I mean, and in the chat, you guys can help us try to understand this. Celsius, I'll go to their website and I'll share it. Is branding themselves as a gym drink more than anything else. Celsius fitness drinks, that's their tagline. Do we think fitness drinks can replace the energy drink market and scale the way that Monster and Red Bull have?
I think there's a lot more competition in that space.
I agree, dude. Gatorade.
You're talking about a fitness drink. You have every last pre-workout that's sold in Vitamin Shop and all these other health food stores, and then you have all these other ones that the YouTubers are making and reconstructing. I mean, more plates, more dates. Bootstrapped and created his own brand. Bradley Martin everybody's got their own brand for this stuff. So I don't know. The only thing that makes me interested is that Pepsi made a $500 million investment a couple of years ago.
Well, because as Seymour Duck says in the chat, Coke has 20% of Monster, so I'm assuming Pepsi thought maybe this is their Monster.
So Coke is definitely helping Monster with their distribution chain.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think Monster's a better value right now.
Dude, but is this even attractive to you that like a fitness brand like Logan Paul and what he's doing with fitness is going to do ridiculous numbers in the next couple of years? It's already
Yeah, but is that considered fitness or rehydration? I don't know. Is Gatorade a fitness drink or sports beverage? I don't know.
I feel like they're all in the same category. Fitness.
No, because these drinks get you hyped up to freaking work out. Gatorade replenishes you. I mean, yeah, they're both kind of fitness, but they do different things. It's completely different.
That's fair.
I don't know. Like you're not drinking a Celsius after you work out or play basketball.
Yeah, it seems like something you drink during
and before.
6 published university studies have been conducted on Celsius to ensure consumer confidence, trust in industry. So they're saying they've done research proving that you should work out and drink this shit, and it'll give you thermogenic properties to increase metabolism. What did you say?
That's fat loss right there.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, a lot of this is bullshit in my opinion. Like all of this is just marketing. Like,
I mean, you can find studies probably that this stuff is bad for you also because it's up your metabolism, your heart rate, all that other stuff. I mean,
there's no energy drink that's actually good for you. I mean, we need to cut the shit. Like energy drinks are horrible for you, but people drink them just like coffee. Like at the end of the day, it's you need it to.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like all of this to me is kind of shady, quite frankly. Not something with the company. It's just like I'm not going to buy an energy drink because I think it's going to give me energy at the gym. Like, I'm buying an energy drink because I think people want to drink it and that's it. Not because it's going to make me metabolize and lift weights. Like, that's not
It's obviously a big market. I just don't know how big Celsius can get. And I mean, they could continue to grow a ton and be a great investment. I don't know. It's too hard for me to figure out from that. It's too many what ifs. I mean, look, the margins are there. They may not be as good as Monster's margins, but the margins are there where if they go into a hyper growth mode still, they're going to do really well.
But that's the stock is 5,000x in the past 5 years. Or sorry, 50x. So it's a 5,000% return, right? So like, where is the next 5? Can they replicate? They were $1 in 2019. They are $59 today. Like that's it. Okay, let's speak to this logic. Is this the right investment thesis to say, or logic, that if a stock is up 50x in the past 5 years, it's really hard to expect that it can keep going up? Like, should I not invest in something because it's already up so much? Is that a good way?
No, I don't think that that's a good way to look at things.
Why?
I mean, you can name so many companies that have been up huge that just kept going up. AMD was a $2 stock that went to 50, and then it went to 100, then 125.
Yeah, but most of those are tech companies.
Yeah, but still, it's a generic question. Just because something goes up doesn't mean it isn't going to keep growing. The thing is, once you go from 1 to 50 and you 50x, going from buying now, not somebody that held it, but buying now, 50 to 100 is a double. It's not another 50x.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the easy money has been made.
Yeah, the easy money has definitely been made.
I think the easy money has been made. And I think that there is definitely the ability for it to keep going up. But I don't know. It's a little too difficult for me.
Monster. Yo, okay, so Celsius has gone up. Well, actually, no. Monster has gone up 128,000% all time. Okay, jeez. But how much do you think Celsius has gone up all time?
No idea.
1.6 million.
Jesus.
So it's like even like Monster has gone up much less than Celsius all time.
There's only one thing you can say. Congratulations to whoever invested early.
Dude, you could have bought Celsius. They went public in 2009.
Congratulations to anybody who bought early and just freaking held.
Dude, from 2009 to basically 2019, you you were struggling on the investment. I mean, for a while, and then it popped. Okay, what about this one? What do you think about Red Bull and Monster as a brand? How do you think of their brands when I tell you Red Bull or Monster?
They're huge. Everybody knows them.
But why do you think everybody knows them?
I mean, they've been around for so long. Everybody knows them. They've been front and center in every 7-Eleven and everywhere else. Like, there's a lot of reasons why. Like, I think it would be hard to find people that didn't know what Red Bull or Monster is. So from a brand aspect, there's a lot of brand recognition.
Yeah, B. Martin through Extreme Sports Marketing. That's how I know Red Bull and Monster. They sponsor every like sports event that's super cool, extreme.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I would rather be in something else. I think there are easier investments for me to understand and see the light through the tunnel rather than trying to understand the market for Celsius.
Why do you think the Bulls are super excited then?
I mean, if you got in and you were up 10, 20, 30x, wouldn't you be super excited?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying there's people right now that are still claiming there's a 5x left in it, and I'm like, dude, there's probably a better chance of a 5x in some other stuff.
I mean, I think that's pretty hard considering. Think about. I mean, a 5x would bring it up to Monsters.
Yeah, dude,
It's
not getting that market share that quickly. That's why this is I've been so confused about this. Everyone is so excited about Celsius, and I'm just like, it feels expensive, and it feels like they're not that special compared to Red Bull and Monster. And I know, like, you see all the pictures on Twitter of their like people drink them everywhere, but like Red Bull and Monster are still also everywhere. Even if Celsius is taking up some of the product lines.
I don't know. It's a pass for now for me.
What would make it a buy at this point? Like, how would
I'd have to see other products other than this. I'd have to see hydration or something.
Meaning they have to have subsidiary products.
I think that they'd have to have other lines, and they just have to have other stuff to diversify away from this and show a real way to 5 or 10x their revenue and keep the same margins.
Dude, I agree. I feel like because like Red Bull has Red Bull sugar, and they have like all these different colors of the bottles that I've never tried. Monster has all these different colors. So I know Celsius has different flavors, but I think you're talking about legitimately different elements.
I don't know. I think it's going to be hard to take away market share from these companies. Not saying it's impossible. I just think there's other things for me to put money into.
Yeah. The other thing is also, it's like, if you're drinking Monster and Red Bull every day, I think you had a really good point, which is like, what makes you switch to Celsius? If you don't go to the gym or you're not a gym nut, then there's no real reason or incentive.
Somebody drinking Starbucks and then trying to drink Dunkin' Donuts, or Dunkin' Donuts and trying to drink Starbucks. You don't, unless you have to, because it's disgusting.
You're not a Dunkin' guy, right? You're a Starbucks guy?
No. So I used to be fine with Dunkin', but I live right across from a freaking Starbucks, and after drinking Starbucks for so long, drinking Dunkin' just doesn't taste right.
Huh.
So, I don't know.
120 PE, that also is a little up there.
It's rich. Unless they can show a lot of things, it's very rich to me. Like, I'd rather buy Alphabet or Meta right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree, dude. If you're going to speculate, like, speculate on a Palantir or a SoFi, but don't speculate on a Celsius. And again, I know it's not necessarily speculation, but it is risky given they've got if they don't grow, that multiple makes no sense. And you got to then ask yourself qualitatively, how do they grow to those levels that take away people from Red Bull or Monster? Because you also got to think about the market for energy drinks in general. Like, there's a set number of people that drink it, right? And if you just don't drink energy drinks, you just don't drink energy drinks. So you're competing.
And that's the other thing. Like, you're not just going to start drinking energy drinks, but somebody could start drinking coffee at some point.
Correct. Like as you become 18 years
or even tea. Somebody could start drinking tea at some point and go to Dunkin' or Starbucks. Like, there's other reasons to go to a Dunkin' or a Starbucks than just the energy aspect or the caffeine aspect.
Someone mentioned Chris. Chris, my understanding is it's a Peter Lynch play for him. The problem is I don't know why he's super excited about their valuation. I get the Peter Lynch thesis there. Like
He may have read through the 10K and saw plans in there for future products. I mean, I haven't read the 10K, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But look, the balance sheet's amazing. So he may be thinking of it as, look, balance sheet's amazing. They don't necessarily have a ton of shares outstanding. And if they can keep growing, they can just buy back a ton of shares and compress the
But this is
PE
not this is not the stage where you buy back shares. You're a growth company. Like this is not
No. But what I'm saying is they don't have a ton of shares outstanding. They are growing and they have no debt. So if they continue to grow, they can start a buyback program and then they'll compress the PE and artificially manufacture more earnings. So he could be looking at it from that aspect, which would make sense. But once again, they would have to keep growing significantly and keep their margins up and then have management have that vision to buy back shares and jumpstart the PE. Because if they buy back shares, that earnings is going to go through the roof and their PE will compress. And the street will probably look favorably upon that. So from a 2 or 3 year outlook, that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, and look, Chris might not be looking for a 50x. He might be looking for a simple double in this.
Yeah, I don't know. He'd have to go through what his vision for it is.
Put in the chat if you all right, here's the question for the chat. A, if you drink an energy drink, what is your energy drink of choice? And that could be coffee as well. Or B, do you not drink any of these types of caffeinated things to get you through the day? Like how do you get through the day? Like today, for example, I had some diet lemonade.
I got to make a phone call. I'll be right back.
Okay, cool. I'll talk to the chat. Today I had a diet lemonade to get me through the day. Okay. What do you guys actually drink to get through the day? Monster coffee. Okay, so both coffees. Okay, coffee, black coffee. Dude, I don't know how you can drink black coffee. I tried black coffee before. You got to have a special taste buds to drink. That is hard to drink, dude. I need some latte in there. Diet Coke. I used to like Diet Coke a lot. Okay, Diet Coke's there. Used to drink Celsius, but now it makes me feel like why? Why does Celsius now make you feel like throwing up? I'm really curious about that. Why does Celsius make you want to throw up now? That's interesting. Coffee and yerba mate. I never heard of yerba mate before. Okay. Don't drink burnt coffee. Coffee unless I'm golfing Red Bull. Okay. Grape, Celsius, and coffee. Everyone drinks coffee. I guess I feel like I'm the only one who doesn't drink coffee. I like my coffee somewhere around Zoe Saldana. Gatorade and Powerade. Okay, that's probably the more healthier one. Monster. The people I know drink Celsius just do it because it's healthier than Monster, but I don't know anyone who drinks it before working out. Yeah, me either, dude. I don't know people who drink Celsius as like a pre-workout. Like most people are more sophisticated and they get like actual pre-workout. And I don't even know how healthy pre-workout is, right? Like, I mean, there's so much science in regards to that. Celsius, because I've had a Celsius once and I just never enjoyed it. I personally like Monster and Red Bull way more. But, okay, Celsius because it's less sweet. Ricardo says it's less caffeine than typical dim drinks and you don't have to get coffee breath after. Celsius does have a new energy drink. It's bigger and has more caffeine, so it makes a good pre-workout. Okay. So that's someone that actually uses it before they work out. Water. That's one we haven't heard in a minute. Water is a good one too. Vitamin drink mix. I haven't heard of vitamin water in a long time. I think vitamin water got bought out a long time ago, right? Vitamin water buyout. I think Pepsi bought them out. 2007. Yeah, they bought them for 4.1 billion. 4.1 billion. Or sorry, not Pepsi, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola bought these guys a while ago. I roast coffee for a living a bit. Let me send you some good stuff. Hit me up. Dude, I would love you to send me coffee. I just don't know how to drink coffee. Like I don't think I've gotten to that stage of life where I drink like coffee every day. Maybe I should. I'm 26. I probably should get to that point. But I wouldn't want you to send the coffee if I don't even appreciate drinking it. Celsius has many flavors. Find your flavor of choice in it. Yeah, I mean, maybe look, I have to try some more flavors. I think I tried peach or something once, and I was just like, this is not good. Water, decaf coffee as well. I switched from Monster to Celsius. Then I bought 300 shares of Celsius. That's some motivation to drink Celsius. That's also true. I'm looking to build up my 500 shares in Celsius. I'll settle for 300 if it runs up away from the 50 to 60 range. Let me pull up the stock real quick. The problem I have with the stock is just I feel like it's run so much, and maybe that's not the best way of thinking about it. But dude, this thing is Google saying it's 267% all time, but it's much more than that. This thing is like, it's done well. It's done very, very well. I mean, past 5 years, 4,000% on Celsius. Again, in 2020, it was $1.58. It's like, dude, during COVID, all of us should have been buying Celsius. I mean, could you imagine just like dumping a couple thousand every month into Celsius during COVID and where it would be right now? It would have been the best return from all the other tech stocks you could have bought. The best return. Good support at 50. That is true. Women drink Celsius. I don't know about that. I mean, granted, I think women drink Celsius way more than Red Bull and Monster. I do think a lot of, to be honest, dude, I have never seen a girl drink Red Bull or Monster. That's actually a good point. I really have not, like, even when I was in college, most of the girls I hung out with, they drank like coffee. They never drank energy drinks. I really haven't seen many girls, like, even if I'm at a corner store, I never see a woman like buy, like, whenever I see someone buy Red Bull or Monster, it's a dude, right? It's like a guy who's working a job and he just wants to, get something to drink. I never see a woman at the counter buying Monster or Red Bull. Quite frankly, I don't see them buying any energy drinks. It's usually like a coffee or something. Wait until people start drinking Celsius and vodka, move over Red Bull. Yeah, see, I don't think that's happening. Because Celsius doesn't even brand themselves as Celsius and vodka. They brand themselves as fitness, right? That's the other thing that I wanted to talk about. The alcoholic beverage market is so incredibly just like unique, in terms of the way that alcoholic beverages appeal to consumers. And Red Bull and alcohol goes really well. Vodka, you got Jaeger bombs. There's just so much stuff that alcohol works with, that Red Bull works with. Celsius at a bar, I feel like people will laugh at you. I don't think that would work. All my sorority sisters drank Red Bull. Okay, so we got some women drinking Red Bull. My daughter and her whole hockey team drink Celsius. I was buying her Celsius pregame in 2018. I would be rich had I known. Wow. I didn't even know Celsius was around in 20, like that. Their brand has really become real now. Even though they've been around for the past 10 years. Bang Energy. That's a good one. Bang Energy. This one exploded on TikTok. I remember they used a lot of influencers to gain market appeal. I never drank them, but they did have a moment where they were like really doing their thing. Right. So I remember Bang Energy was like in 2020 when TikTok was exploding, every influencer I knew was drinking Bang. Bang used to have some amazing content creators. Yeah, you guys remember there was a lot of influencers doing Bang Energy stuff. Bang sponsored my frat in college. We used to make Bang vodka snow cones. Yeah, Bang is good. They still have them. Does Bang have any numbers? Let me look them up. Bang Energy drink. Are they public? Are they public? There's no way. These guys aren't public. They're not public. We have some revenue. So in 2021, they did 1.4 billion. Bang Energy. 1.4 billion. Celsius. There's no way. Celsius did 1 billion this year. Bang did 1 billion. That's actually really. Oh, wait. Never mind. Bang Energy filed for bankruptcy in October 2022. Okay, so these guys are not I guess. Wow. Yeah. It looks like Monster either picked them up when they filed for bankruptcy. Damn. That energy business, Monster bought them out. Energy business is a tough business, dude. Energy business is a tough business. This is what it looked like. I never liked the bottle. I never liked the bottle design either. The bottle design always looked like, I don't know. It just always looked like weird. I was like, what am I drinking right now? This is interesting. Monster Beverage completed the acquisition of Bang Energy from Vital Pharmaceuticals in September 30th. This was just recently in 2023. They filed for bankruptcy in October 2022. What we are doing and what our Coke bottles are doing is remaining the distribution that is out there for Bang. Also, we as a company are making presentations to large and smaller retailers for both convenience, grocery, mass, and obviously the club channel to ensure that Bang is restocked. In the quarter, Corona-based Monster Beverage had net income of $453 million or 43 cents a share. Sales increased 14%. Well, that's another reason why Monster is continuing their growth, right? We thought the growth was kind of good for Monster in comparison to Celsius, but they're doing these acquisitions that are helping them get that growth as well. And that's allowing that as well. There are just too many different energy drinks. The coolest cans win. Yeah, Bang sued by Super Creatine. I do remember that controversy that exists. Yeah, that also didn't help them. We should don't tell Elon that there's creatine and Bang. He might think it's like ketamine or something, and he might just start drinking a little. I remember being in front line of the industry when they were fighting to get the space they should have bought. Now they have a huge space in stores. Yeah, that has also happened. In middle school, the rumor was taurine equals bull semen. Yeah, dude, taurine, there's been so many weird mythologies around taurine, and I don't know if it's necessarily the worst thing in the world or if it's not that big of a deal, but there are still a lot of things out there about taurine as well. Dude, this is interesting. This is very interesting. I think so far when it comes to Celsius, I don't know. It's hard for, I think me and Steve are a little bearish on it right now. We probably need to see some better numbers in the 4K, or not the 4K. That's just the video, the 10K, and get a much better understanding of where this company is and how they're going to grow. AMP tastes like Mountain Dew. I've drank them for 20 years. I've heard of AMP. I've never drank them before, but I've heard of that one. But never seen that one yet. The Mountain Dew Energy is also really interesting because Mountain Dew Energy is like, Mountain Dew is a monster brand. I don't drink Mountain Dew that much anymore, but Mountain Dew has been there for a while. The problem with Mountain Dew, and I guess the biggest thing with me is like they've always been a soda to me. They've never been an energy drink. So to get Mountain Dew to turn into a real energy brand, I think they would have to do a little bit more on the marketing side to get people to think about that. Can you cover Celsius with Chris on Finance Junkies? Yeah, I mean, I think we should definitely cover it with him. Maybe not tonight. I think Chris is still sick. I don't even know if he's going to be able to make it tonight. I'm not sure we're even going to do a show tonight because I think a lot of people are sick and different. I think we might. I'll let you guys know, but Chris has just been sick like a dog this whole week. Ever tried Coca-Cola Energy? Coca-Cola has energy? What? No way. Coca-Cola has energy? Oh, crap. Coca-Cola has energy, dude? There's what? That is wow. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Coca-Cola Energy. Hold on, I'm about to pull this up. Coca-Cola Energy. Panera's Death Lemonade, a threat. I've never had their Death Lemonade, but Panera Bread is great, but I don't know if they're energy drinks or anything. Coca-Cola Energy drink. Also, we didn't talk about G Fuel. Yeah, I'm looking at Coca-Cola Energy. That's a real thing. I just typed in energy drinks on Amazon, and I'm pulling this up.
Sorry, work call.
No, you're good. I typed in a bunch of energy. We forgot about G4. That's there.
There's a lot of competition.
Coca-Cola has an energy drink, apparently. Prime has an energy drink as well.
Well, wasn't Prime predominantly an energy drink?
No, I thought Prime was
Or their hydration?
Yeah, but they have a bunch of energy.
Yeah, I mean, It just goes back to what we were saying before, that it's a very saturated market. And when you're trying to tackle fitness, I mean, go to like bodybuilding.com and look at all the different pre-workouts they have. Like, it's crazy how many pre-workouts there are.
Huh.
So if you go to like shop on the top, they have, I think you can just go right to pre-workout. Yeah, pre-workout right there. And then they have stim-free pre-workout. I mean, it's
Dude, have you ever taken pre-workout before?
when I used to lift, yeah.
I've never taken
Like back in
pre-workout.
the day, yeah. I mean, shit's amazing.
What do you mean? What, amazing as in like it makes you feel better during
Don't
the
take
workout?
it. Just do not take it, okay? Don't take it.
But you just said
Uh,
it's amazing, so why wouldn't I take it?
yeah, you feel like Superman and you never get tired. It's crazy.
So why shouldn't I take it?
It's probably horrible for you.
So why do people do pre-workout then?
I don't know, because the shit works.
Dude, are we just like all killing our bodies with this stuff?
Probably. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's such a hard market, and I don't know. I keep going back to, would people switch from coffee or any of that stuff? And I don't think so. And if you're not going to get the coffee drinkers to go into a energy drink market, then you have all these different energy brands fighting for the same pie.
And that's my point. Yeah, they're all fighting for the same pie. Now, more importantly, where can I get some of this pre-workout that you say makes you feel so special?
Yep.
Where can I get it, Steve? Because I want to feel a
You were
special-
just on the site. You could have just ordered it. What do you mean? Where do you get it?
Yeah, but they have so many options, dude. It's
You're
like,
acting like it's like some black market thing. Like you were legitimately on the website. Where do you get it? You click add to cart and you order. Or how about
yeah,
this? Just go to Amazon.
I
and
want the
order
one.
from
I want the
Amazon.
one you had, dude. I want the one you had.
Dude, how?
A mid on pre-workout would be like listening to a mid on for it. Can you take
Admit,
pre-workout before like just to do regular life things?
I don't know that would be smart.
Like what, like before my market open, would it give me more energy? You know?
I mean, the answer is yes. Would anybody understand you? Probably not.
Dude, now I want to try. I've never had pre-workout in my life. Now I want to legitimately buy it and just try it and see what it feels like.
Okay.
All right. So I guess thesis is it's not a buy for us. We're not buying Celsius.
I mean, I'd have to see more things. I mean, look, it's interesting from the aspect of if they can grow and they're going to allocate that money to buybacks to completely boost their earnings. It's very interesting because there's no debt and there's a low share count. I don't know. Other than that, it's tough for me. Like that would be the only, if I knew that was going to be the strategy, I'd be much more optimistic about it.
All right. So far,
I'd almost rather buy Starbucks at this point. And here's
really?
why. Starbucks is still opening stores in China and other places, and there's a runway of growth.
All right. I mean, I don't know if I would rather buy Starbucks over Celsius. I feel like they're going to grow more than Starbucks.
Starbucks at 100 billion market cap is pretty interesting.
That's true. Garcia says, I almost OD'd on extra strength talent. So I probably shouldn't do pre-workout.
Think about it like this. Monster was trading at what, 60 billion, and they were doing 6.5 billion in revenue, I think. Starbucks is doing 36 billion in revenue. It's a $100 billion company.
Yeah, but are their margins as decent as Monster? Is a 22% margin? I don't think Starbucks is it.
No, their margins are not nearly as good, but they have future growth also. What's their future? What are the analysts looking at? Dude, I'm going to have to do some fucking analysis on Starbucks now. Like I just said that as kind of a joke, but no, this is legit. Look at the future earnings potential. It's double-digit growth for Starbucks.
Yeah, I mean, that would be very good given the revenue multiple that they're getting.
I mean, you're talking about trading at less than 20 times next year's earnings.
Two Tone says I've been buying Starbucks. What about China? I mean, that's the China risk is. Well, maybe we save that for another episode.
I don't know if that's a risk. I have to look into it, but I think they're still growing in China. And my thing, 13 years of dividend growth, good payout ratio, freaking 10% 5-year growth rate.
I think we have our next episode. Starbucks.
Yeah, this could
Why
be.
not? Starbucks is it's an iconic brand. I've been drinking it since I was 15 years old, right? Like you've been drinking Starbucks for like 20 years at this point, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, look, I love coffee, so I like a lot of different coffee brands. So, do you want to know the secret with Starbucks?
Okay, what's the secret?
So, and I know this because I was in the coffee business at one point.
Wait, what do you mean you were in the coffee? Well, what do you mean you were in the coffee business?
So, when I was at Bed Bath, I was a merchandise manager for the e-commerce division. And I worked with a lot of the different buyers, and I was friends with the coffee buyers. And I used to have discussions about why is Starbucks like crack? And they would tell me, and I'm pretty sure that this is true. I can't see that it wouldn't be. If anybody would have known, it would have been the people that I was working with, that Starbucks sears their beans to give it a distinct taste because people traditionally put a lot of milk or half and half and sugar into coffee. So they wanted their coffee to be distinguishable from other brands when you put milk, sugar, or half and half in it, or a combination of some type of creamer with sugar. So they still wanted to have a distinct flavor. So they sear the beans. That's why Starbucks has such a unique taste.
Okay. I think we should explore it next week.
But I mean, so you've been drinking Starbucks for a long time. You can't tell me you don't see a huge difference if you get Dunkin' Donuts.
100%. I mean, now granted, I like Dunkin' Donuts a little bit better because I've liked their lattes for a long time better, but Starbucks is like the GOAT. I mean, everyone I know drinks Starbucks over Dunkin'.
I got Dunkin' Donuts a couple of months ago because my wife wanted to stop and get Dunkin' Donuts, and it wasn't that the coffee was bad. It's just it wasn't Starbucks. I can't explain it. It just wasn't Starbucks.
All right, let's do that next week. We're gonna do Starbucks.
Yeah, that's good.
That's the episode. All right. Thank you everybody for joining. It is not a buy yet for us. If you have more DD, tweet us. Our Twitter's in the description. Let us know some stuff we're not looking at. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff. This was the original. I mean, this was the first deep dive we've done on Celsius, but Starbucks will have some more stuff next week and see if there's an opportunity there. All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. We will see you next Thursday. Bye-bye. Have a good one.
Later.